We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. We lost the yellow jersey. It really is a bad day.
Hello folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to the Tour de France 2020 Pro Team Career Mode with the TIJ Racing Team. Remember, if you're going to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like down below. It only takes a few seconds and it really means a lot for the video and for the channel, of course. Remember to comment as well your thoughts and subscribe for regular Tour de France content on a Tuesday, Thursday and on a Saturday. Right, let's get into it with the Euro Tour. Now, you heard the sports director just then, less than complimentary about our performance in the second stage, which is absolutely right. We managed to get Ben Swift in the top 30, and to be fair, 3 of our riders got in the top half of the standings, which isn't too bad at all, but in those cobblestone sections, we had absolutely no hope. I very much underestimated how badly those sections would affect us, but they did, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. So it looks like we're really out of the general classification. There's not much we can do in terms of making it 3 out of 3 yellow jerseys, but Ben Swift's still in the top 30, so that's not too bad at all. So we're really focusing on 2 classifications, the first one being the best climber classification and the points classification. We still retain the green jersey, and if we can, potentially winning the white jersey, the young rider classification. As you can see, we've got Affini and Meduas in the top 4 there. So the last stage did relegate us. It didn't relegate us, actually. No, it didn't. Of course it didn't. But we wanted to gain some points, and ultimately we didn't. We want to finish 18th for the end of this season, and it's going to be quite tough to do so, really, with the points deficit we've got. But anyway, here we go for today's first stage. This is stage number 3. Look at all those cobblestone sectors. Oh, dear.
Today, it's a stage with cobbled sectors. It could get edgy. Positioning on the approach to the sectors is of vital importance. It'll be important to pick up maximum points to consolidate our top spot for the green jersey. We don't have what it takes to be in the final sprint. If we want to make a showing, we'll have to be in the early breakaway. Have a good stage.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real Paris-Roubaix concentrate that awaits the riders today, with more than 20 kilometres of cobblestones. This stage should be to the liking of the specialists of Flandrian classics, while it should worry pure climbers, often ill at ease on this type of exercise.
Hello there folks, and welcome to stage number 3. This is very much going to be about damage limitation today. We're not good at the cobblestone sectors, and we know that. So there are a few objectives today, and as you can see, the first one is to retain the green jersey. That was fairly obvious, and we're going to try and do that by being in that first sprint. It's going to be tough because there are 3 cobblestone sectors before the first feed, so we'll need to make sure we retain all of our energy then, and then just being there in the first 2 cobblestone sectors, go for the sprint, and then I'm not too bothered about the last one, because as you heard our sports director say, we're not really in a place to be in that final sprint. But there is not an expectation to be in the breakaway with Affini, Meduas, Bierge and Holmes, and that just is a little bit ridiculous. So I'm not going to go with all of them. We're going to focus on our best cobblestone rider, which is Affini, and also Meduas being in that early breakaway. Anything else to say? Yes, actually. They also expect McLeod to be in the top 20 of the stage. They know it's not one of our best, but there we go. Yeah, apparently that's fair enough. The race won't really accelerate until after the feed zone. There's a lot of cobblestone sectors coming up very quickly. So no early breakaway here. I will stay on board because I would quite like to get an early breakaway at some point, but someone's going. The problem is we've got no room to get through with Affini. So one man has gone. Can't do much about that. I'm going to have to get Meduas to attack as well, but he's going to be in the same position as us. And why not? We'll get Michael Bierge to attack. But as you can see, there's just no way through. Rosetto is just gaining time every second of the way. There we go. Are we going to be able to get through now? I think we will, probably. There we go. It's more like it. No excuse for Meduas and Bierge now, then. We did struggle in the breakaway, though, with Affini in stage number 2. So I do worry about him. But he's a good rider. He's certainly a young rider. Needs to improve. Well, it looks like nobody else is bothering, are they? So we'll tell Bierge to sit back. If Meduas can get out of there, great. But I think, to be honest, it's a bit too little too late now. He's only going to burn himself out. And it just seems a bit silly to do that. So we'll try and keep in this breakaway with Affini. I think, as mentioned earlier, there's not going to be much going on until after that first feed zone. And as you can see, that's quite a way into the stage. So I'll see you guys a little bit later in the stage. So things have changed a little, it's fair to say. We have got a rider in the breakaway, but it's not the one that was there earlier. So I could imagine you can get quite confused. That first breakaway was gone with Affini in it. he couldn't do anything. Went back to the peloton, and he was absolutely knackered, so couldn't do anything. But there was a secondary breakaway, which this man, Valentin Medouas, was part of. And we are coming up to that first sprint of the day. Ben Swift's not going to be there for the top 4 positions. Although, I mean, we've got another cobblestone section here, which isn't marvellous for it. I mean, I can't believe how little our riders are on energy already. It's amazing, really. These cobblestone sectors are a real nightmare. And that might affect how we get on in the sprint here. But we're pretty much guaranteed to get some good points from Medouas. Nobody in this first group is to worry about in that first sprint in terms of going for the green jersey. But these cobblestone sections are really nasty. They really are. I can't believe how much energy they use. So it looks like that top 2 in the sprint's going to be pretty tricky. As you can see, we're just running out of energy so easily here. Seems the Ineos rider, Amador, is starting to struggle. So we're going to put some blue gel in. I mean, only a kilometre till the sprint. We just haven't got the pace, have we, to sprint at all, really. Well, Holmes is losing touch. Can't really do too much about that, to be honest. I guess we just go for it now. Only half a kilometre to go. Not much from an RPO that we could do. Medouas will definitely get there. Athene in that top group. Well, that's not going to do anything, is it? To be honest. Got a little bit more energy with Swift, so we ought to go for this. Only a little more, though, it's fair to say. But look at the amount of riders ahead. It's going to be pretty impossible to get through this group. That's why you've got to be well placed on these cobblestone sections. So I'm hoping that nothing really happens, to be honest, in the sprint that'll affect us too much. We'll have to put all our power down, hope for the best. No, can't even get in the top 30, so there you go. Not much we could do at all there. And after this now, there's not really much in our power we can do in the whole stage altogether. So we'll have to see how that affects us. Just tell the guys to ensure a minimum tempo. Same as Bierge, Quintana and Holmes. These cobblestone stages really aren't for us, as you can see. And there's not really much in our power that we can do. So not really too fussed there. We'll keep eyes on Medouas in the breakaway. But I think it'll be a fairly quiet stage now. Just really it's a bit of a damage limitation stage, really. But as I've said, general classification is not something we're necessarily targeting now. Just got to go for the green jersey, which, well, we've took some points off our opponents at least, I guess you can say, with Medouas. We'll have to see what the damage is overall. But yeah, this isn't going to be the best stage whatsoever. I guess it just needs to make sure we don't finish outside the time limit or something stupid like that. Well, with less than 20 kilometres to go, we actually still have one rider who's decently in it. The peloton's just up ahead. So we're going to try and catch back up with that. We've got a little bit of feed left. I think there are 2 cobblestone sections to go. So we're going to struggle a little bit there. And it was quite frustrating, really. I was just fast-forwarding things. We were with the peloton. And then in that last cobblestone section, even though we had got the energy, we just didn't go for it. And that was my fault, really, not for stopping. But we'll just tell Swift to try and catch up to the group ahead. But this is good from Ben Swift. Very pleased to see. Might just tell him, actually, to persist smoothly through these areas at least. We're not that good at the cobblestone, but if we can stay fairly well in it, then I think we have got a chance. But as you can see, we're just not adept to these sections, really. Can use a little bit of feed, though, now, so we might as well. The peloton is closing up. Well, there's not much room through there, is there? Goodness me. But we're in that third group. The peloton is quite large, so we're not too far away from them, I don't think. What about our guys behind? They're looking okay. I've just told them all to persist smoothly. They're looking okay at the moment. Nobody finishing outside the time limit, so that's a positive. But I think, although it looked pretty good for us being in the peloton, I think we're just a little bit too far away now to get any points, certainly out of that last sprint. Well, as you can see, it has gone to pot. There's just absolutely nothing we can do in these cobblestone stages. We are powerless to defeat. We can give it all we want, but ultimately, it just doesn't happen. So it was just all about damage limitation today, as you can see. We had some sort of hope with Ben Swift, but alas, it didn't happen. So that's a shame. Just got to hope nobody catches up in that green jersey. But ultimately, there are 2 important stages coming up, and I think we can certainly try and do something in those. As you can see, the finish has taken place now. We weren't in that final sprint, and as you know, definitely, we're absolutely powerless to do anything in the general classification. So we're just going to fast forward to the end. Ben Swift comes across the line. again, nothing we can do today. Absolutely nothing we can do. And, yeah, just completely powerless to defeat there. And hopefully the next stage will be a lot better. But let's see who won the stage, and let's see whether we've retained our green jersey. I very much doubt it. So Bahrain McLaren rider wins the stage. Cole Brelly, never heard of him. Might be a cobblestone rider perhaps. And he also takes the general classification and the points classification. Van Marksel has the best climber, and Van der Poage still has the young rider classification. I think that white jersey might be a bit out of our reach now after that last stage.
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. We lose the green jersey. It's a day that's best forgotten.
Yep, that's fair enough. That's fair enough to say. Our top rider not even getting in the top 90, that just shows how poor we were. And we've been riding quite well this season, so it's certainly not down to our incompetency. We're just not any very good on the cobble. That's the sort of thing that happens. We're not bothered about the general classification, though it is fair to say that a Bahrain McLaren rider being at the top is interesting. Only 1 point for Van Mark and Evan Apoe in the best climber classifications. That's to be expected. Ben Swift is in 4th in the points classification, so it's not all over yet for that green jersey. And young rider classification, yeah, unless those top 4 completely keel over, I don't think anything's going to happen there. But the next stage should be a lot better for us. I do worry that we're going to be pretty knackered after that one, as you can see, we definitely are. But we'll have to make the most of it, and we now move on to stage number 4.
Today's route is hilly and a leg breaker. Perfect for attacking, which should suit the punchers. It may be worth slipping into the early breakaway, because if we pick up enough King of the Mountains points, we can take the polka dot jersey. The team members of the favourites will probably manage the time gaps and play for a win on the final climb. We can aim for a place in the top 10. Good race, guys. Go, go!
Hello and welcome to all. The peloton will today leave Belgium and head towards the Champagne region and its renowned vineyards. There, the riders will be able to engage in a sparkling climax where the succession of short, steep climbs will delight the punchers.
Oh, thank God the cobblestone's gone. Right, here's stage number 4. As you've just seen, stage number 5 is a time trial. So this is the one and only chance we have to get the points classification and the best climber classification. And we're going to go for the best climber classification with our old mate, Dea Quintana. We're going to keep Meduas and Ben Swift nice and cosy in the peloton today. Try and get some points in that first sprint with Ben Swift. But, again, I think that there won't be too many in the breakaway, so I wouldn't worry about it, really. It's looking good for the counter-attack. Oh, there's only us gone. So, a few objectives today, and those are to score 15 points in the points classification with Swift, finishing the first 10 of the stage with Meduas, and finishing the first 20 with Holmes. But why I'm kind of holding back on the points a little bit is, I mean, I guess we've got nothing to lose, but ultimately, have we really got a chance in that classification? Given that I think there's 50 points at the end of this one, isn't there, and 20 points in the first sprint. So if we get 20 points, puts us up to 72. We need to finish fairly well in the stage as a whole with Ben Swift. That's why we're not going with him with the breakaway. And we've seen before that we've had Quintana in the breakaway, and we've really struggled at the final climbs with him. As you can see, though, we've got quite a good gap to the peloton. I'm quite liking this. There is a few riders coming up, so that'll be nicely appreciated. But we've got a good gap on the peloton. They might start to ride potentially if a few more riders get away. But very quiet this stage until that first climb. So I'll see you guys when we get there, or failing that, if there's any drama before that. So again, we come up to the first climb and it's a different rider in the breakaway. How the hell has this happened, might you ask? Well, Quintana was in the breakaway, and there were 3 guys in there. I can't remember if I showed it or just showed the start of the stage. It's all becoming a bit of a blur now. But again, just didn't have the pace to be in the breakaway, and I didn't think Meduas would for a minute. There was a secondary breakaway. Peloton caught the first one, and we'd said to Meduas, well, go with it and see what happens, and he looked a little bit low on energy at one point, but we got past that, it seems, and we were riding at a fair pace, but the peloton kind of gave up in the end, which meant that we could slow down at the front of the race, and all was good. So we have got the first climb now. There's obviously only 1 point available for this, and there's only 1 point that anyone scored in the ride in these standings already. Of course, there's 1 point for 2 guys at the front. Don't know who they are particularly. I've forgotten. But that's the top there. Got a lot of energy, so we might as well just go for it. Medusa's a very good mountain rider. And we should be able to get the point here. There we go. Excellent. And that is the last climb before the first feed. It's a very uneventful stage until sort of that last probably 50 kilometres, I'd say, possibly. I don't know how many kilometres it is. But we took a point there. That's the most important thing. And yeah, I think we've got a good chance in the King of the Mountains classification. Nobody up here has scored points before. But we go level at the top of the best climber classification. So we're going to try and get some points in the points classification. I don't think we've got enough now. I think that's just a bit out of our power to go and get the green jersey. But still, to win the polka dot jersey, because the next stage is a time trial stage, we have only got the opportunity to do that today. To win the polka dot jersey, considering the poor Euro Tour we've had, would certainly be a good consolation. So the gap's been pretty much stable all since that first climb. And we have got a chance to get some points in the points classification. Well, why not? We might as well go for it. We've got absolutely nothing to lose. We will get, hopefully, 10 points with Ben Swift in the peloton. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but we'll tell him just to put in some good pace. End of the day, well, I don't think we've got a chance of winning in the classification, but it's never any harm to try, is it? So we'll tell McClay and Swift to absolutely go for it. Don't know if there's anybody in this breakaway who's particularly brilliant at sprinting. Nobody took any points. And if we take 20 points from Medusa, who knows? We could get into it. I very much doubt it, though. I think it's 50 points at the end of the stage. Could be wrong, though. But it is a designated sprint, so yeah. It's a designated sprint at the end, so I think it is 50 points. I'm fairly sure. Maybe could have done with taking our feed potentially there, but oh well. Let's see how we get on. Come on. Let's put the last push in now. 20 points. Well, well, well. Jack of all trades. Jack of all trades is Valentin Medusa. Solid mountain rider and clearly a half-decent sprinter. We win the sprint. Need to remember to actually put some pace in with Ben Swift now. There we go. He's looking good at the front. That's pleasing to see. Affini's there as well. Might as well attack with him. Just try and take points off our opponents at the end of the day if we can. And we've got all three of our guys at the front. If we can take the top 3 amount of points, that'd be excellent. Just go around them with Ben Swift. And that should be 10 points for us. Let's see about the rest of the guys. So Affini gets 9. McClay gets 8. So very good. We might not have a team of guys in the cobblestones, but we certainly have a team of decent sprinters. Very happy about that. Good to see. So we now come up to the next climb. There's quite a few climbs in this section now. 51 kilometres to go. So I was about right with that prediction of 50 kilometres being where it gets exciting. So that was a pretty good prediction. I'm quite happy with that. Only 4 guys in the breakaway though now. We have dropped one of them. I think it is one of the movie star riders. Yes, it looks like it. That's a shame. But oh well. So, 2.5 kilometres to go. We haven't got the energy we had before. We did exert ourselves quite a bit in that sprint, it's fair to say. But yeah, we're looking for that best climber classification. This is a bit of a tougher climb than the last one. We haven't got a terrific amount of energy. But then, as I always say, if we haven't got the energy, apart from when it's on cobblestones, if we haven't got the energy, then the guys, the other guys around us usually don't either. So, we should be okay. Don't want to use too much of our feed too early on. Got a good gap though here. We are, well, we're 7 minutes behind for the general classification. So no chance unless something absolutely crazy happens. But let's be honest, it's not. No chance for a real shock result. Need to get every point we can though here. So we're going to put some good pace in. Just worried about the lack of blue energy. There's the line. Might as well put the pace in now. Come on, Medusa. I think we're just about going to get there safe. Yep, we're there. No problem. Right, let's just chill out now. Use some of our red gel. We were top over the climb, which means, again, we do have the lead now in that classification. But a second climb now coming. Could do with using the decline here for a bit of a reprieve, which we do. Not going to be a long decline, I don't think. Bjerg's been dropped. Again, not really my main concern. There we go. We've regained a little bit of energy. Seems that breakaway is now down to 3 riders. Rather than 4. So the smaller it gets, the tougher it's going to get on us. And I feel like there has been a few updates to this game. And I feel like that definitely energy management has become a lot harder Certainly on a 4th class climb. I do appreciate we've been exerted quite a bit, so that could be something to do with it, I suppose. The cobblestone's not helped us out at all. Does make you wonder, doesn't it? But let's see if we can take another point. The more points we take early on, the less pressure there is to get points on other climbs. I think there's 3 climbs coming after this, or 4. It's tricky to see behind all the numbers actually how many climbs there are. I think there's 4 after that, after this one. So, again, if we can take some points here. Remember, our opponents haven't got any points yet. So that's quite crucial to remember. This is a little bit tough, as you can see. As soon as we get over that brow, should be fairly easy. To be honest, we don't need to exert any more energy than required here. Putting an attack though now. Didn't think they were going to go for it, but I suppose if they'd have the chance to go for the point, then they might as well. Medusa is there though. No complaints there. We take that climb. So another point. We are starting to struggle though now in terms of our energy. It'd be good if we could get another 1 or 2 points, because in those last three climbs, 3rd class, 4th class, and again 4th class, there are only 4 points available. So another point would pretty much guarantee. I know that somebody could very easily take another 4 points, and the 2 guys on 1 point, I suppose, could take 3 or 4 points to take it off us, but it's pretty unlikely. So we just need to make sure we're at the top over the next climb, and we should be able to safeguard that position. Well, we say this episode every episode, and I thought I might as well continue the form. Durbridge, we've been caught napping by Durbridge there. We certainly have been. Would like to take this point ideally. I don't know whether he's exerted himself by trying to get the gap, but we need to push a little bit here. Don't want to use all of our energy. It is only a 4th class climb, but as I've said before, if we can take this, then we've got a real chance. Clever ploy though by Durbridge at the front. I wasn't expecting that. He's slowing down, I think, a little bit now. But only kilometre away. I don't think we've got what it takes to catch him up here. He might blow up before the top, so we might as well keep our energy fairly intact. There he is. Yeah, we have caught up to him now. This is a bit of a tougher climb, actually. Might as well use most of our gel here. I'd be surprised if anybody's really got the energy to go for this, and I think unless something happens, we shouldn't really go for it too much, because we are running a bit low on energy. Although I'm going to be a bit greedy in the last portion here. We've caught them napping this time. Another point for Medusa, and it's pretty unlikely he's going to be caught at the top of the best climber classification now, so that'll be good to get some points. Some PCP points for Medusa and for the team. And who knows, we might be able to win the stage. I doubt it, but who knows. There's a few climbs to come up. And we're managing our energy, I would say, fairly well. A little bit worrying we haven't really got much feed left. But watch this space. Ooh, another climb here, so we might as well stay on board. Durbridge is starting to struggle now. But if we can get this one, well, the movie star rider's going for it a little bit. I mean, obviously, it's points for the top 2 here, so even if we just get the solitary point, the single point, then that's absolutely fine. If we get this, then we will win the polka dot jersey. Now we can chill out a bit after that. We have got a few riders in the peloton. We've got Swift, Holmes and Quintana. Quintana now starting to struggle. That's quite amazing in my opinion. Now, Quintana, a very good mountain rider usually. It's clear then, I think, that it's obviously the struggles we've had with the cobblestone that's caused this. Not necessarily any bad management on my part. At least I don't think. The peloton is getting closer though, but I'm not worried because after this climb, we've done what we need to do at the front. There is no real need, no real necessity for a breakaway. So just keep it nice and chilled. We can afford for the guy behind us to get the points if he wants, the 2 points. Durbridge is closing fairly quickly, but I don't think he will. But my competitive spirit is telling me, just go for it. Which we do. Another 2 points. And that is the polka dot jersey. If my maths is correct anyway, that is the polka dot jersey. The peloton should be catching up, so I'm going to tell him just to wait for the next group. Then we can chill out in the peloton a little bit. And just keep it cool, so. Ah, there we go. Okay, fair enough. We've got VT back. I didn't think we would. Quintana's starting to struggle a little bit now. How many climbs have we got left? So we've got 2 fourth class climbs. So how are the 2 guys behind doing? We probably need to go on board with Holmes and just do a bit of management there. Well, we've got a big descent, so we might as well just regain the blue energy there, haven't we? That makes sense. Probably take a little bit of feed, though, towards the end. That should do. Don't want to take too much. Ben Swift looking in decent shape for that final sprint. Once again with Quintana. Take this opportunity. Whoops! That was a bit of a glitch more than anything. Well, I say a glitch. It wasn't really. We just were going left when we took control of him. We couldn't stop it. That's okay, though. Quite happy with that. Medua's still at the top here. So we've certainly got a chance to take another point if we really want to put ourselves up. But there's only 2 points available, and we've got the majority, so no, I'm not really worried. VT can go for it as much as he wants. We can chill, knowing that we've won the polka dot jersey, and that's definitely some consolation in what's been quite a poor Euro Tour. The time trial comes up next, but seeing as we're not going for it with the general classification, and seeing as we're generally awful at the time trial, I'm not holding any faith for anything going on there. We'll let VT escape now. I'm not really too bothered. We'll just chill in the peloton with Meduas. And just ensure a minimum tempo. See if we can get back up with Quintana. See if we can get back up to the peloton, because having another guy in there would certainly be worth it. And then I'll see you guys for the final sprint. Right, it's a bit more of a fierce battle for this climb, isn't it? Goodness me. Meduas didn't have this much competition before. Meduas is nice tucked up in the peloton now. Good news is that Quintana is as well. Look at them 2 at the front pushing each other out. But Better Wheel gets that one. That's nice for him. Gets that climb. So just the singular climb to go. It's going to be a bunch peloton, I would guess, before the end. But I don't want to be caught napping here. So there is a counter-attack. We're going to go for it. Just 15 kilometres to go now. Coming down here, it's a good chance for Ben Swift to gain some ground. Again, I don't think we've really got a chance in that points classification. You saw the green jersey man just there. So I don't think there's much chance. Swift and Meduas both in this group, so full marks to Meduas really. You can't complain about him on this stage at all. He's done very well. But it might just be a little bit too much for him, this potentially. Ben Swift, we've held back with him. And that's the main thing. But as you can see, quite a group at the front. We've got Ben Swift in it. Again, Meduas is going to struggle, I think, to be a part of that group. But apart from this little bit of red gel we're taking now, Ben Swift's got a full feed going into the last 10 kilometres. So I'll see you guys when we get there. It's not far away. Well, the breakaway is over. There's 27 guys in this front group. Just Ben Swift in there. Meduas a little while behind. We have got this short climb, which I think is probably where someone's going to try and get a little bit of a gap. And we might as well go with it with Ben Swift. He got 10 points, remember, in the last sprint. I don't think the green jersey man got any at all. So say there are 90 points available. We are very much in there, given a chance. We're very much in there. I don't think we will, but we'll see. We'll see. We can get some XP for scoring at least 15 points. We just need 5 points in that classification. But we all know how good the likes of Kwiatkowski is on the climbs, and particularly the likes of Sagan on the points. So it'll be tricky, but Ben Swift's a very good rider as well. So there you go. And of course for the general classification, which we're not involved with necessarily here, it's quite a big stage. Again, the time trial could do something, but this is the best opportunity for somebody if they want to get a gap before that final stage. So just 5 kilometres to go. Running low on energy, as you can see, so might be a struggle to certainly win the stage and get that full 50 points, but you never know. You never know what condition everybody else is in. I think the cobblestones took it out of everybody. I think we'll get a short reprieve after this, hopefully. And then we can chill a bit. Try and get some energy back on the decline. coming down. And then we've certainly got a chance in this final sprint. We'll certainly go for it. 4 kilometres to go. We haven't got the most energy left. We'll try and get all we can out of this little decline. Coming down here. That's all we can do. And then we just have to go for it. Been caught napping a little bit though. Again, we say it again. Right. It comes very quickly, doesn't it, here? Last few kilometres. Try and make as much ground as we can here. The top man is gone. Now, only 30 points available, so actually there's no chance for us winning the jersey, but we can certainly go for it here. There's no harm. So we can't win the points classification, but we certainly go for something decent in the stage. Come on, Swifty. The better guys have just taken advantage there. And we've blown up before the end, but you know what? I'm not really fussed. It's been one of those. It's been one of those, really has, where nothing's really gone for us. But we have won the best climbing classification we do, so that's a big plus. We did half decently in the sprints with Ben Swift. Can't really complain at that. And now we've just got the time trial. It could change things, so this isn't the definitive standings in terms of the general classification. But let's see what the standings look like after this. So, the winner of the stage, I think it was, must be, who has the general classification in his hands now, Band van der Poage. He had the green jersey as well, so he's got 2 out of 2. Colbrelli, oh no, Colbrelli's got that green jersey. Oh, of course he has. Never mind. Never mind. But, as you can see, best climber classification, Meduas has got it. And that won't change now for the time trial, so we can be relatively pleased with that.
We were aiming for a top 10 place on this stage, and we failed. It's a pity. We take the polka dot jersey. It's the high point of the day.
Christ is a strange bloke. He can change the motions so quickly, and to be quite honest, we weren't far off that top 10 at all. If we look at the classifications then, we lead the best climber classification. That's not going to change now. And we're third in the points classification. Can't be bad at all. But we have got the last stage to come up. Did we get any points there for anything? We got 4, but we've been overtaken for 23rd. We were overtaken the last stage, I believe, for that. It's going to be very tricky now, isn't it? Just in that open tour to get up to 18th before the end of the year. As you can see, the guys are knackered, though. We've got the final stage, and to be quite honest, I'm not going to make you guys watch that, because we're pretty dreadful. But I don't want to simulate it, because, yeah, alright, then we'll do a quick stage mode. Again, I'm not bothered about these time trials. There we go. We just want to see who wins, and hopefully we get the animations of who wins in terms of the podium. I feel like we probably won't, potentially. But let's see. Well, there we go. We didn't get to see the podiums in the end, unfortunately. But as you can see, our guys finished decently, considering that a lot's been taken out of them. Really, a lot's been taken out of them. Yeah, I thought there was some points available on that stage. But to be honest, you know we're not good at time trials, so there was no point going for it. But the general classification ends with Van Aert taking the general classification. It's not Van der Poage who takes it in the end. Van Aert wins it from Kwiatkowski, Kung and Sagan. Best climber classification goes to us. We finished 4th in the points classification. We could be happy with that. 4th in the young rider classification. 19th in the team classification. We were battered in this tournament. And we also won the competitivity classification as well. So, no real big shocks at the top. The top guys didn't really take part in this tournament. But 30 points more for Meduas. That moves him up a few places. Ben Swift doesn't move up. I don't think any of our other guys got any points there. But we do move up to 22nd in the classification, the Team Pro Cycling ranking. But there's one tournament to go this year, and that's the Open Tour. It's going to be very tough to get past that CTC Pro Team for a spot on the big tournaments next year in 18th. But we'll go for it, and that is going to be the next one. So, a bit of a relaxation period, really. Three flat stages, and I think we'll do them all, to be honest, in the next episode. I want to get to those other events as quick as possible. That's why we're doing episodes where we do multiple stages. There's no point doing Open Tour, La Route Course, Brage Cup all the time. I'd love to get to those other events. So hopefully we can do well in this Open Tour. And yeah, let's see how we get on. I think we've got a good chance. 25 points for the general classification. It doesn't really look like, unless we take maximum points every stage, etc., etc., that we can really trouble 18th. But we'll certainly go for it. Let's see what we can do. So if you enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like down below, comment your thoughts as well, and subscribe for regular Tour de France content on a Tuesday, Thursday and a Saturday at 6 PM. And until the next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye for now.